But you're all very, very welcome today to the launch of the Youth Wellness Web. As chair of CYPSP, so the Children's Young Person Strategic Partnership, I'm delighted to welcome you today, and particularly to welcome the young people who have been at the heart of this piece of work. Co-production and co-design is really what CYPSP is about, and ultimately what today is the product of considerable co-production in making sure that there is a really useful, fit for purpose web environment that young people can go to and really get value from. Delighted that Robbie Butler, MLA, has agreed to formally launch the web launch today. So Robbie will come back to you towards the end of the event and obviously ask you to do so. And I do know that Minister Swan sends his best wishes for today. I'm very aware that he's not around today and therefore was unable to attend, but he certainly has dropped a note to wish us the best for today. A little bit of background for those of you who don't know, the Children, Young Person, People Strategic Partnership, CYPSP, brings together the statutory, the voluntary, the community sector, and really through its children's services plan, we aim to improve, and I think we do improve, the lives of children and young people across Northern Ireland. And there's a range of things that we do through all of those parties to try to deliver improvement for children and young people and families. And as I mentioned earlier, co-production is at the heart of what we try to do. This is a perfect example. I mean, the Youth Wellness Web has been developed by young people and children for young people and children. And it's so important that, you know, the premise is that nothing's done to you without you. I mean, ultimately, that's what we're here to do. It's about co-production. And therefore, I really just want to take this opportunity to pay tribute to the young people you'll see on the screen today, and they'll present to us today the work. Because actually it's they who've brought this together. This is not a CYPSP thing. This is co-production, and they've brought that together. And I know that you're here as individuals on the group on the Zoom today, but you represent a number of youth groups across Northern Ireland. And I know that actually in the current climate, with us only having a Zoom environment, we're not physically getting to see people. I know that must be very difficult as well, because actually we've not been able to come together and and actually meet and talk to each other. I hope you'll all enjoy it this afternoon. I think we're in for a real treat, and we'll get to see what the web is about, the web pages are about, and also the value that they can add. Now, I am aware, because we're doing this on Zoom, it's slightly different. We had hoped we'd be in Stormont in the Great Hall today, and that didn't happen, unfortunately. Hopefully everyone who is on Zoom will have got the instructions in terms of, you know, if you've got any questions or comments, etc., put it in the chat box, and we'll absolutely try and take some of those at the end. It is unlikely we'll have a questions and answer session. It really can't work that way. But it'll be great if you can put it in the questions, put it in the chat, and we can do something around that. For those of you on the Zoom, you'll also know from the chat box already that we're streaming live on Facebook, and therefore hello to all of you on Facebook Live. And I just want to say that if there are questions that people place either through Facebook or in the chat that we don't have a chance to answer today, the CYPSP team will certainly get a look at those and certainly be able to come back to you with any thoughts or comments. So I'm very proud as chair of CYPSP. I love what we do at CYPSP, and actually as chief executive of a trust, this is one of the nicest and the best things that I do. And I'm delighted today to be able to open the session. I'm going to hand over to Caitlin and Maya in a minute, who will walk you through the Youth Wellness Hub. But I just want to say, as chair, I'm very proud. And I hope today you will see the product of what the co-production has brought and the value that we can bring to young people through CYPSP. So we'll hand them to Caitlin and Maya and see at the end. Well, I'll be listening, and then obviously if we have a time at the end, then we can reflect on some of the comments in the chat box. So Caitlin and Maya, after you.
Hi, I'm Maya. Hello, I'm Caitlin, and together we are going to share with you some of our inputs to the Youth Wellness Web. We have been involved from the very start of this project and have been fully involved in the development of the Youth Wellness Web. We were all there when we suggested names and took votes on what to call the site, and we all agreed on the Youth Wellness Web. We were fully involved in deciding functionality and how the site should look, including colours, scrollers, tabs, tables, and the content. We also decided on the age breakdowns and the themes we wanted to learn more information about. We were also fully involved in making the welcome video. I wrote the introduction to the site. And I recorded the introduction for the welcome video, which explains what is on the site and how to get started. A huge thank you to CYPSP for giving us this opportunity, and we are so excited to continue supporting and being ambassadors for the Youth Wellness Web and to help keep it alive and relevant. Valerie is going to play the welcome video for you all now. We hope you enjoy it. After the video, Aoife is going to present content from the 8 to 10-year-old section of the site. Thank you.
Welcome to the Youth Wellness Web, a place where everyone deserves to be helped at any time, no matter how big or small the problem is. There are many resources that you can access to get the help you need. There may also be services around you that can help. A place where you can come to access help and resources if you need it, anytime, anywhere. No young person should feel alone and should feel they can get the support they need when they need it at any time or any place, no matter how big or small the situation. When you're struggling, it's okay to reach out. The Youth Wellness Web has been co-designed by young people for easy access to different resources and services that can really help you. All you have to do is click on your age group below, where you will find information on bereavement if you're struggling after a death, bullying and how to find help, your well-being and how to stay well and be happy, mental health for lots of advice if you're worried or anxious, view some great videos and podcasts, and finally, support and advice about school.
I'm now going to pass over to Aoife so she can present her content.
Hi, my name is Aoife. The biggest highlight of my involvement with this project has been being able to see the work, care, and genuine thought being put into creating this website. It was amazing to be able to share ideas about what we all thought could help people like ourselves, and I'm so grateful to have been able to contribute. This afternoon, I'm going to share some of the information we've included on the Youth Wellness Web under the 8 to 10 section. As you heard from the video introduction, I'm going to click on the age 8 to 10 button, where you will find drop-down tiles that are all themed. Today, I'm going to share the bereavement section with you, so I'll click on bereavement. Throughout the project, we all agreed that we wanted less text and more pictures, videos, and direct links to make it more interesting. You will see we have included a short introduction at the top, and along the sidebar, we have included a news and events section for our youth groups to advertise upcoming events. Underneath, we have listed essential contact helplines. The sidebar is the same on every page to ensure helpline contacts are easily found. Underneath the introduction, we have included a scroller, which takes you directly to specific guides and advice for young people, including how to look after your mental health when you're grieving, books to read, worrying about talking to a parent about death, and how to express your feelings, as well as advice on returning to school after a bereavement. We have also included some animated videos that help explain feelings about death and grief to young people. I will play the invisible suitcase video for you. It is just over 1 minute long, but really easy to understand.
When you were born, you were given an invisible suitcase. You take it everywhere you go. You can't control how it's packed, and it can spring open at any time. There are 3 things in your suitcase. Facts, such as historical events you learned at school. Facts with feelings attached, like how happy you were on holiday, or perhaps how sad you felt when someone important to you died. And finally, emotions. These can pop out of your suitcase when you least expect and take you back to a moment in life a long time ago. Perhaps the music on the radio or the smell of perfume reminds you of someone you miss and makes you cry. It's impossible to control when your suitcase opens, but you can choose what to do when it does. The best way to deal with your feelings and emotions is to talk about them with someone who won't judge or make fun of you. Sometimes you might just want to close your suitcase because of who you're with or what you're doing at the time. That's okay too. But constantly hiding your feelings can make your suitcase feel very heavy. If that sounds like your suitcase, then try talking to someone you trust and ask them to help. Do look after yourself as you carry your invisible suitcase through life. Safe travels.
There is so much information out there on the internet, but a lot of it is for adults and takes a lot of time to navigate. We have been able to provide a central point here on the Youth Wellness Web for links to sites and projects such as Hope and Winston's Wish that have been designed specifically for children and young people. We have used this layout on each page because we felt it worked. I am now going to hand you over to Inez and Oren, who are going to share information from the 11 to 15-year-old section. Thank you.
Thank you, Aoife. Hi, my name is Inez.
Hi, my name is Oren.
So, Oren, what has been your favourite part of being involved in this project?
My favourite part of being involved in this project has been able to get the voice of young people across all partners of CYPSP and to make sure that the website caters to the needs of young people. What about you, Inez?
I completely agree. It just feels like we've really been listened to at every single step of the process. It's great to see the website and know that every single detail has been designed in coordination with young people.
So we're going to share 2 themes with you from the 11 to the 15 section. I'm going to share the bullying section with you, and Inez will cover the wellbeing page. As you heard from Aoife, you'll see the layout is exactly the same on the bullying page, and it acts as a central resource that is easily navigated to find information and advice on bullying. You will see some of the areas covered on the scroller includes advice and direct links in respect of where to get help, tips on cyberbullying, what to do if you're being bullied, help and advice about discrimination or hate crime, and how to bounce back from bullying. Similar to the bereavement page, we've included age-appropriate videos providing advice, and I'm going to play the video from the Young People United Against Bullying as one example.
Right, let's be honest.
We've all had them moments.
You know, the ones where you join in on the joke.
You've liked that comment.
Taking screenshots.
Called names.
Whispered.
Simply never spoken to someone because no one else does.
Sometimes it just goes too far.
Sometimes we just let it happen.
Sometimes we get caught up in a group or a moment.
It may have been your friends that did those things, not you, but that doesn't make it okay.
Bullying is not okay.
At the end of all this banter, there's someone that goes home each day and thinks about everything going on.
When it was a brief daily laugh for you and your mates.
What if that was you, your best friend, or maybe even your little sister?
Would it still be funny then?
What you say and do, or even you don't say or don't do, has an impact.
What if that was a positive impact?
Let's face it, we live in a whole different world with pressure and expectation.
But what comes with that is a power to make change.
It's up to all of us to channel that power to make change happen.
Don't laugh at that joke. Don't write that comment.
Don't be afraid to speak to someone who nobody else will.
Don't invade people's space.
Be the person to say that, nah, that wasn't cool.
Choose to be an upstander instead of a bystander.
It doesn't have to be groundbreaking.
If we could collectively make these small choices, what bigger impact it would make.
If you stand up against bullying, more and more people will too.
If you stand together, your individual voices will come together as one, united.
But we all need to play our part.
Me,
You,
Us,
the government,
Social media,
Teachers,
Everyone needs to be
united against bullying.
As well as general information, we've also included information on different types of bullying, including faith, religion, racism, and homophobic bullying. We have also included a video about disability bullying under Let's Stop Bullying for All, and a section about being bullied because you are deaf. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oren. I'm now going to click back into the main menu and take you to the Your Wellbeing section. By the way, you may have noticed that as each page loads, a little key message shows at the bottom of the page. These have been built around the PHA 5 Steps to Wellbeing key messages, so watch out for them. There you go. Be kind, do something nice for a stranger, thank someone, smile, or even volunteer your time. We all had a considerable discussion about well-being and how we needed an uplifting section of the Youth Wellness Web with advice and tips on happiness, well-being, relaxation, confidence, and resilience. Here you go. Here we will see that we have linked a number of Action for Happiness resources, youth online fun activities and challenges, broadcasts, how to stay safe online, and EA Safe Connected service. We have self-care information, support for children and young people in care, and links to Pure mental health education, and youth intervention, youth-led charity. Again, we have included lots of videos explaining the adolescent brain, to mindfulness, tips for healthier screen time, healthy habits, and the Take 5 animation. You will see that we have also included a happiness calendar, and if you follow the CYPSP on Twitter, you will see these quotes sent out every day as a little reminder not only to be kind to others, but to be kind to ourselves. Underneath, you will see that we have included a key number of links to happiness posters, Take 5 Steps to Wellbeing, the Children's Law Centre, Nikki, the Goodnight Guide for Teens, LGBTQ+ and Transgender and I, and Disability Sports Hubs, the Bernardo's Disabled Children and Young People Participation Peer Coaching Programme, and the Children's Society. I'm now going to hand you over to Ethan and Adam, who will share the 16+ section with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Inez, and thank you to everyone today for joining us. So Adam, what are your hopes for Youth Wellness Web over the next year?
I really hope the Youth Wellness Web can become a first port of call for young people, or anyone who needs any advice on a range of topics. They'll think Youth Wellness Web will have an answer. I also hope that we as young people have continue to be involved and promote the page to our friends, our family, and really become ambassadors for this project that we've worked so hard on. Yeah, Ethan, what have been the highlights of your involvement with the project?
I'd say the highlights for me is, as a young person, especially going through the period of uncertainty that we've been going through now, it's been good to actually come on and really connect with young people like ourselves and create this page, not only for us as young people, but for many young people and children out there. I have enjoyed right from the very start of the project and really having a voice to impact and overall make a positive success, which brings us to why we are here today. I am also now going to share with you a mental health section, and Adam will share the skills section with you this afternoon. Okay, so clicking back to the main menu, I will now open the 16+ section. Again, you will see familiar tiles that run through each section. I will click the mental health tile and share the content with you, where you will see the familiar layout and of course, not missing any key messages. You will see we have linked again to key information and advice from Scroller, including the young people's version of Northern Ireland mental health strategy, action mental health resources for 16 plus, Minding Your Head website that includes Are You Concerned About Yourself? Early warning signs of problems, help and advice about self-harm or suicide, and also there's information and support on drugs and alcohol, as well as CAMS resources. We have included a number of different videos that explain what is CAMS. I had a black dog, his name was depression. But did you know we all have mental health? And we still do openly have discussions about LGBTQ+ and transgender issues. Underneath, you will see that we have included lots of guides and toolkits and advice if you're worried about a parent, which can all be very easily downloaded. We have also included a full section on all of the CAMS services across Northern Ireland, and I'm now going to play a short video talking more in depth about CAMS. Thank you for today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the presentation.
I remember being 12 and thinking that the world was out to get me. Nobody could understand or see why I was feeling the way I was in my eyes. I told my mum about the way I was feeling, and she rang the doctors because she was worried about me. I went to see the doctor with my mum, and he asked me some questions about how I was feeling and what I was thinking. Not very long. I had my first appointment with CAMS as soon as possible after seeing my doctor. Throughout the time at CAMS, I met with a community psychiatric nurse named Sarah. She offered me a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on when I needed it. She never finished an appointment until she knew that I had got everything off my chest and that I felt better. I went to CAMS on and off for 1 year. I attended appointments once a fortnight, but they were always there if I needed support in between those appointments. CAMS helped me by allowing me to see life more positively. Because of CAMS, I can see a brighter future. And this was something I really struggled with before.
Thank you, Ethan. Let's see, so I'm going to click now back to the main menu for 16 plus. And just like to point out that we have a full section dedicated to all videos and podcasts themed in a list for easy access. So I'm going to share now the 16 plus school college information with you. Oh, you spot the key message. So in this section, we have included information about youth services, reading well for children collection, advice if you're worried about exams, school youth support services, and how to access them, and link to the BBC Young Reporter website. There are videos sharing the transition to secondary school, find your feet, schools resource and trips on transitioning to university. Must watch that one later on myself. In the links table below, you will see we have included lots of information and advice, including a summer secondary pack, managing social media, daily self-care challenge from the Fleur ambassadors, advice on coronavirus at school and how to stay safe. We have also included lots of information on courses and programs run via the Prince's Trust and courses to improve your skills on NI Direct. So I'm just going to share my Strengths Toolkit with you, which is a great way to help plan your week around home, schools, goals, being kind to yourself, as well as tips on coronavirus and hygiene, discussion cards as well, and some puzzles. Download a copy after our launch. Thank you all so much. So I'm going to hand over to Valerie and Lindsay for a final presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Adam. That's great. So I'm sure you will agree that the young people have done an absolutely amazing job so far today. And I'm so very proud of you all. Thank you so much for the amazing work that you've done and for making the Youth Wellness Web such a success. So on behalf of CYPSP, well done, guys. I am just absolutely blown away by the amazing work that you've brought forward for us. Okay, so I am now going to demonstrate some accessibility in relation to those who don't have English as a first language. I will share with you how to use the Browse Aloud on the landing page. So first I'm just going to open the Browse Aloud toolbar along the top, and I will demonstrate how we can change the language on the Youth Wellness Web. So I'm just going to click on the translations button, and you will see that that shows a language drop-down list. And I'm just going to click on Polish. And you will see that the site automatically translates into Polish. I'm sorry, we've had a few wee delays this morning. Apologies about that. Okay, so I'm now going to demonstrate the functionality for those who may have literacy issues or sensory impairments. And I will highlight the start of the introduction. So I'm just going to highlight this. And then I'm going to press the play button along the top of the toolbar, and this will automatically read the information that is in any of the pages on the Youth Wellness Web.
Miejsce, w którym każdy zasługuje na pomoc w każdej chwili, bez względu na to, jak duży czy mały jest problem. Istnieje wiele zasobów, do których możesz uzyskać dostęp, aby uzyskać potrzebną pomoc. W pobliżu mogą być również usługi, które mogą Ci pomóc.
Okay, so I've just hit the stop button, so you can see that this is an excellent way for anyone who would have literacy issues or who may have visual impairments, that it can be actually played out, and that it can be played on any of the 110 languages that are listed. I'm just going to click back to English. Okay, and I'm going to show you then some other functions. Along here we have a function called Screen Mask, and that highlights the text as you move your mouse up and down the screen, and this is to aid people who may have a visual impairment. We also have a magnifier. And this will take this.
A place where everyone deserves. A place where everyone deserves. A place where everyone deserves to. When you are struggling, it's okay to reach out. No young person should feel alone, and a place where you can come to access help and resources if you need it anytime, anywhere.
As you see, what that does is it highlights the tasks and makes it bigger and reads it out at the same time. Just finally to say that the website is also fully accessible by laptop, tablet and mobile device. So you can look at it from any of those devices, and it'll all automatically change size so that it fits and is easily readable. I am now going to hand over to Lindsay, who is going to present the Parents and Carers Teacher section. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks, Valerie. And I totally agree. It's been so exciting to be a part of this project and to work alongside such a fantastic group of young people who've generated such innovative ideas. It's been unreal. It's been amazing to see what has been achieved by this group of young people who actually have never met each other or in person. And they're geographically spread across the region. It's just fantastic. So I suppose in particular, Valerie, I also want to commend you for your leadership of this project. We couldn't have got to this stage without your coordination and your direction. And we all know that you've certainly gone over and above and dedicated countless hours to ensure that the project and today's launch event have gone smoothly. So I don't know if people want to put a little clapping emoji for Valerie, because she's been so fantastic throughout all of this. Thank you so much. And also to commend Michael and Corey, have worked behind the scenes to bring all of our ideas to life. No task was ever too much trouble, so thank you all for your support. So during our Zoom meetings and discussions, the young people talked about parents and carers and teachers, and how it would be good if we could add a section to the Youth Wellness Web where parents or carers and teachers could not only point children and young people to the site, but somewhere where they could go for advice and information as well. So we have added a parent-teacher zone to the site, and you can toggle between the information for parents and carers and teachers by just clicking on each button. Under the parent care section, you will see information and advice for parents and help available from the Education Authority. And we've also included a link to the CYPSP parent support page that provides up-to-date information on available parenting programs, links and information. The Reading Well for Children section helps parents to help their children understand their feelings and worries through tough times. And also the What Just Happened section is a support for parents and carers to help with COVID. And you'll also see that we have added a number of resources to help parents understand and support young people in relation to their identity and sexuality. And if you haven't already done so, please visit the Family Support NI website. Check it out as soon as possible. It is the Department of Health directory for family support services and for registered childcare services available across Northern Ireland, and it has been included under the parent and teacher section. Also, you can visit the PHA, the Public Health Agency site, to download printed directories and Z cards of services to help improve mental health and emotional well-being, and also some information on substance use if you're worried about your child. Okay, so moving across to the teachers section, and we do hope to add more to this section through our ongoing work with our colleagues in the Education Authority. Big shout out to Pure Mental NI, which is a youth-led youth group that have been involved with this project from the outset and are doing such great work through schools, introducing their toolkits geared towards key stage groups and their Pure Mental pupil-led school committees, organising groups of mental health champions within schools. There's a number of teachers' resources included, such as activity packs, school training on bullying, some great resources for schools and colleges on the Anna Freud website around supporting and engaging with parents, carers and young people. And there's also some inclusivity resources for teachers and youth workers. I hope you'll all agree that this is such an exciting new resource for young people across Northern Ireland. And I, as a CAMHS practitioner, will definitely be utilising the site to support families, children and young people. So thank you all. And I'm delighted to hand back over to Shane, who will introduce us to Robbie for the official launch. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think you'll all agree what we've just seen there is just fabulous. The opportunity it brings to share relevant information in a way that is so approachable and accessible is just magnificent. If I could pass on to Robbie. Robbie, we're delighted to have you, and maybe you can say a few words and officially launch the Youth Wellness Web. So Robbie, after you.
Thank you, Shane. I'm going to see if I can change my view because I've only got like about 3 or 4 years in my pen. I'll make that a bit bigger if I can. I'm looking at Shane on his own now. I'll have to get rid of that, Shane, if you don't mind.
I would highly recommend you do get rid of that, Robbie. It's not a pleasant image.
Do you know something? Up to this point, the first thing that I was going to say is that this is run absolutely fantastically on Zoom because it's actually very difficult. So whoever is responsible for actually behind the scenes operating this, take a pat on the back. Really well done, because I've sat on many Zooms and WebExes and all sorts of platforms, and inevitably something goes wrong or someone hasn't practiced. So this is really well done. So thank you for that, and thanks for asking me. First of all, to try and host this at Stormont, which was the initial request, which would have been absolutely marvelous, and I would really have loved to have seen all of you guys there, because these things are always much better probably in person. And I look forward to that day because I've become friends with many of you guys on here in different manners, and I genuinely look forward to actually either shaking your hand or giving you a hug. Particular thanks to Valerie and her team, because very often with these type of events, the people who organize it sometimes go unmentioned, but genuinely, I'm absolutely thrilled. And some of you guys will maybe know that I'm the mental health spokesperson for my party, as well as education, and the mental health piece has been my passion since 2016 when I was made the mental health spokesperson. And if I was to go back then and wind the clock forward 5 years till now, I would be genuinely absolutely thrilled with what I have just seen and shared. And you genuinely could evidence this. So if you've ever been on a Zoom with me or on a WebEx or something, I suspect genuinely, it's never been diagnosed, but I think I might have a little bit of ADHD. And I find it very hard to sit and watch something for like 40 minutes. See, after 20 minutes, guys, generally I will blank my screen, go make a cup of coffee, look at my phone, write an email, do something that I shouldn't be doing. But I didn't. I did not blank my screen once because I wanted to watch and listen. And that, genuinely, I'm thrilled. I almost got little tingles in my legs here. And my legs aren't very long, as you know, not very tall. But every bit of content on this was outstanding. It was excellent. You hit so many boxes. I was writing questions down here and then I go, okay, Maya's just covered that. Okay, now Aoife's done that. Inez, I'm just going off here. So I really, I don't have any questions. I wish I had a bottle of champagne, Valerie. And I could smash it against my desk, but I wouldn't actually smash it. I'd maybe pour a glass and then I would offer it out to anybody that's over 18, and it would be sure for anybody under 18. But for every single young person that has put work into this, and I know that, so there was Maya, Caitlin, Aoife, Inez, Oren, Ethan, Adam who spoke, but there will be other young people who have fed into this who perhaps haven't just been mentioned on here now. I just want you to give yourselves a virtual pat on the back, and think about this, guys. And some of you guys have heard me say this before, and I've said this publicly, that we do have a problem in Northern Ireland with regard to mental health, and particularly with regard in our young people, and young people have been saying this for years now. But what I absolutely love and I'm so proud of is the fact that our young people didn't wait around and wait for people like me or Valerie or Shane or whoever to fix it. You guys rolled up your sleeves, you got involved, and you've started to become the solution. And that's game changing. That's where transformation will happen, guys. So what I think is going to happen out of this Youth Wellness Web is that you guys are going to not just improve lives, but you're going to save lives, because that's actually what you're going to touch. And I'm going to contradict myself a little bit. I said that I would love to have seen you guys in person, and that is the truth. However, to see the functionality online here and to see you guys being able to use it, to be able to see what some of the content looks like, and for you guys to demonstrate that in terms of the design usability, that it's young person focused, that is priceless. But I really, really do think it's amazing. I'm just going to pick out one or two, or maybe a few things that I picked up through the presentation, if that's okay. The co-design and the co-production piece, which Shane talked about at the very start, is evident through this. And what I love is that, and I know some of you guys, and I know how vocal you guys are on when you're lobbying people like me, because you have, and I know you will hold our feet to the fire, and you will make sure we tell the truth, and you'll call us out when we don't. But you have taken ownership of this, and you're telling us today that this is co-design. This has been designed and created with young people in mind by young people. There could be no more valuable input, guys. I really, really do like that. One of the biggest values that I saw at the start was the content and the age appropriate brackets, because that's something I'm really, really passionate about. And for me, that really speaks into the preventative aspect of well-being and mental health, where if we can engage young people in the right way early enough, then we will be preventing deterioration and our already overburdened health service from having to do that intervention piece later in life. So Maya and Caitlin, you covered the first bit absolutely well. Just one last thing on that. There was a video and it was 1 minute 46 long, and the amount of valuable content that was in that 1 minute 46 second video was brilliant, because I do political videos, and there's a guy videos me on my phone, and it's awful. I get talk for Ireland, as you know, and then but getting that quality in there because people want to hear it, understand it, and then do their thing. So that was brilliant. And then the strapline, no young person should feel alone, absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to say one more thing on this one. Bereavement, brilliant. That would have been nearly a taboo. You'd have thought young people we don't talk to young people about that, but actually it's really important. I did some work with the British Psychological Society on bereavement. I didn't do it. I was reading it and sound like I'm a psychologist. I'm not, but I was really, really impressed by it. And young people, especially through COVID, and there has been additional deaths and stuff. You know, that is something, and young people don't often get involved in that conversation. Then we had Aoife, and Aoife's video was on the invisible suitcase. And if anybody here is going to say that they don't know what their invisible suitcase is, I think you'd be telling a fib. It's absolutely brilliant. I've talked about my nothing box. I'm now going to call it my invisible suitcase. And we all carry it, guys. It was absolutely brilliant. Thought it was really, really good. And this is really important. Sometimes we forget to talk about some of the outstanding services that we already have, like the NSPCC, the Samaritans, Childline and stuff. So it's absolutely imperative, and it was done in this. It's included. They have been doing and continue to do fantastic work. So it's great to see that that's in there. Then Inez and Oren. Absolutely brilliant. So bullying is obviously rife still. It isn't just young people. It happens in political circles and through adulthood. But if we can, again, in the preventative sense, if we can change how we view each other and the value that we put on each other, we really can make a difference there. And you guys have covered most, if not all, of the groups that probably need to be met. And then we had Ethan and Adam, which they talked about the CAMS piece, and Shane will know all about this, but the pressures in CAMS services. But the reality is that our mental health professionals are doing their very best, and if we have a better understanding of the system, we can maybe use it better. I'm going to be a wee bit selfish here. I'm going to do a wee shout out for Pure Mental A&I Crisis Cafe and the Secondary Students Union of Northern Ireland. And the reason I'm doing that, guys, is because over this past year and a half, these guys have been busting my chops. And what has been brilliant to see is them coming together and collaborating, not just in this, but in all of the other things that they were doing, but to see the value of it actually on a resource that people will be able to put their hand to. I'm absolutely thrilled to bits. So it is my privilege, absolute privilege, to be on this with you guys today, to be part of the launch of this, to be just responsible, I suppose, for saying a few words. And for everyone that's on here watching and listening, being part of it, and hopefully in the rollout, the promotion of it, I commend you, and I would ask you to do that. I will promote the live clean out of it. So I will, I really will. But I do have one question, if it's okay, Valerie. Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yes, go on ahead.
Okay, I'm a chair of a number of all-party groups in Stormont. Okay, so disability was covered in here, and it was great to see that, and you did the drop-down boxes in terms of some of those. But in terms of, and this may be, I don't know if it's an appropriate question or not, but in terms of young people with autism and ADHD, has there been any thought to our discussion in and around those young people, given the prevalence of that and the impact of that mental health has on those young people too?
Yes, we've had those discussions as we've moved along through, and what we have done, Robbie, is if you get a chance, you will find some of the resources in there are friendly for young people with ADHD and other mental health issues. We did have a number of professionals to check some of the content and to quality assure the information that we were including. And the way we look at it, we see this as a very much a live site, and we're happy to work with anybody, including the young people, moving forward to ensure that we keep this this information relevant and up to date and available and accessible to absolutely everybody. So certainly that is something that we really hope to keep moving forward on.
Well, just finally then, this absolutely gets an 11 out of 10 for me. It's absolutely fabulous, guys. I've really enjoyed listening to you guys, watching the videos, listening to what's been said, and I'll just say, yep, let's do all we can to get this out there and get it into the hands of the young people that need to see it and use it and see a real transformation in the lives of our young people and their well-being. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Much appreciated for your comments. I do have one ask of you. It would be great, and I know spam mail isn't allowed up in Parliament, but any chance you could just send the link to every one of the MLAs? So just send it straight to their inbox and basically say, I've just been to this fabulous launch. Will you please make sure this is shared with everyone in your constituency office and get it down to every single young person, family and person in their geography. So I know spam won't be allowed, so I'm not encouraging you to put spam email into the assembly, but I am encouraging you to put spam email into the assembly, please, and just get it into every single person's inbox up there.
Absolutely, 100%. I'll definitely do that, Shane, but you can rest assured that you see the young people on here, they'll probably have it in the inboxes of the MLAs long before I do.
Absolutely. Can I just, as I say, to draw a close, I mean, obviously to Valerie, thank you. And Valerie, you really are the linchpin in the middle of all this, but to Caitlin, to Maya, to Aoife, to Inez, to Oren, to Ethan, to Joseph, and everyone who spoke today, to Lindsay, just a massive thank you, because as Robbie said, you know, it's very easy to sit back and look in and say, well, who's going to do what? What you did was you just took it on and actually driving it forward. I mean, I do have one big question: what next? You know, so it's now here, and it exists, and there's content, but where to next? And as chair of CYPSP, what do you need me to do to make sure the what next happens? Okay, now you don't have to answer that now, but we really want to know where to next with this, because it's magnificent, but let's think further. You know, do we connect it to the Snapchat and all kinds of things? You know, what do we do here to really push this out into the ether? Because obviously it's a web-based, but you know, we all know our world is based on social media. So where do we go to next? And that's the challenge I have to you. But equally, I'd like the challenge back to me as CYPSP chair. What do you want CYPSP to do to really drive this forward? So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for joining today. I'm led to believe there's as many people on Facebook Live that there are actually on Zoom. So we've doubled I think we've got 42 on the Zoom, and there's at least 42 on Facebook Live as well, which is absolutely brilliant. You will see the comments in the chat with regards to the various congratulations. Can I assume Valerie will copy those, will save those, and we'll actually just get that turned into something which we can send around to everyone? Because I think everyone should be very proud of the comments that people have made in the chat box, which is, you know, things like, you know, that's guess what, the one that Robbie you've put in there, wow, that gives a real boost to today. Others have said what a fantastic resource. Others are saying must be TikTok for me. I know, Pauline, TikTok and me don't work. They really don't. Now, my 15-year-old daughter, that's a different kettle of fish. TikTok and me don't work, but I thank you for that comment, Pauline. But there's so many in here, so we just need to make sure that, you know, people need to recognize what you've done, which is absolutely fabulous. And in terms of recognition, if you would have been up in Stormont, we'd have just handed you all a very small token of appreciation, which is a small Amazon voucher we have for each of you. We will just pop it in the post. Imagine having to use the post. Who actually sends letters these days? But we will send it in the post to you, because apologies, we couldn't physically give it to you. But you know, as I say, unfortunately, that's the situation we're in at the moment. So can I just draw a close to today's event? Again, massive thank you. It's a brilliant, brilliant step forward. As a parent of a 15-year-old, I'm going to go home and tell that 15-year-old, you know, this thing exists. She will then tell 100 people it exists, because that's the way that it works. So let's just start a movement here. Let's just tell everyone this exists and give people access to what we need to know. So thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed today. Valerie, do you have any final
Yes,
comments?
just to say we do have a little leaflet, and we'll get that sent out to everybody who's been on today, and it's just the website address. And in fact, I'll just share my screen quickly here and put it up for you. Okay, so we'll get this sent out to everybody. And again, if you could share this live as widely as possible with everybody that you know, and we have a QR code there that will take you straight to the Youth Wellness Web and also the address. So that would be fantastic. So thank you so much.
Great stuff. Look, have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone. And as I say, keep the pressure on CYPSP and we'll drive this even further forward. So thank you very much, everyone, and catch up soon.